Families of more than a dozen representatives of the Iranian leadership have arrived in Russia. The evacuation and subsequent resettlement in several regions took place in secrecy and have already been fully completed. This was reported by the TG channel of the Russian Federation, General SVR, citing its own sources. According to the information received, all members of the Iranian leadership's families received cover documents in the Russian Federation after relocation, confirming the legend. Mainly these are tourists from different countries. Almost all those who arrived were assigned support groups of FSB officers. Not everyone in the Russian Politburo was delighted with these steps, pointing out that at this rate, the country would soon become a dumping ground for scum and state criminals from all over the world. Their opponents, hawks in the Russian leadership, insist that aid is being provided to family members who are not guilty of anything. Such steps are taken in the hope of a return favor, and this is the only calculation. The public's sources added. When Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, officials in Russia described the current escalation in the Middle East as alarming and dangerous. However, the longer Israel's military operation goes on, the greater the realization that Russia has much to lose from current events. The escalation of the conflict carries serious risks and potential costs for Moscow, wrote Russian political scientist Andrei Kortunov in Business Daily Kommersant. The fact remains that Russia was unable to prevent a mass strike by Israel on a country with which 5 months ago Russia signed a comprehensive strategic partnership. Clearly, Moscow is not prepared to go beyond political statements condemning Israel. It's not ready to provide Iran with military assistance. The Russian-Iranian strategic partnership deal, which Vladimir Putin and President Masoud Pezeshkian signed earlier this year, is not a military alliance. It does not oblige Moscow to come to Tehran's defense. Iran has long been a close partner of Russia, not least because Western democracies heavily sanction both countries. Iran also recently joined BRICS, a group of non-Western nations with emerging economies that Russia helped to found. Their relationship grew even closer after Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Western allies accused Iran of supplying Russia with military drones, which were eventually used to attack Ukraine's civilian infrastructure as well. According to media reports, Moscow may have paid for the drones with at least 1.8 tons of gold bars, worth around $104 million, transferred to the Iranian company Sahara Thunder. Iran may also have asked Russia to help it realize its nuclear program. Analysts believe Moscow wouldn't want to lose such a reliable partner.
An Iranian military leader on Tuesday vowed that Israel would soon see more attacks, warning of an imminent punitive operation and telling Tel Aviv and Jaffa residents to evacuate. The operations carried out so far were merely a warning and deterrence, General Abdul Rahim Musavi, the commander-in-chief of Iran's army, said in a video. A punitive operation will be implemented soon. According to Associated Press, Israel claimed on Tuesday to have killed a top Iranian general as it traded more strikes with its longtime foe, and U.S. President Donald Trump warned residents of Tehran to evacuate while demanding that Iran surrender without conditions. Trump left the Group of Seven summit in Canada a day early to deal with the conflict between Israel and Iran, telling reporters on Air Force One during the flight back to Washington, "I'm not looking at a ceasefire. We're looking at better than a ceasefire." When asked to explain, he said the U.S. wanted to see a real end to the conflict that could involve Iran giving up entirely. He added, "I'm not too much in the mood to negotiate." Later on social media, he warned Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei that the U.S. knows where he is hiding and called for Iran's unconditional surrender. It was not clear what Trump meant by urging Iran to surrender or if he was suggesting that the country give up its nuclear ambitions. Iran offered no immediate response to the president's posts, but the country's military leaders vowed that Israel would soon see more attacks. Trump's hard line added to the uncertainty roiling the region on the fifth day of Israel's air campaign aimed at Iran's military and nuclear program. Israel says its sweeping assault is necessary to prevent its adversary from getting any closer to building an atomic weapon. The strikes have killed at least 224 people in Iran. Iran has retaliated by launching some 400 missiles and hundreds of drones at Israel. So far, 24 people have been killed in Israel.
اما عملیاتی که تاکنون اجرا شده صرفاً هشدار برای بازدارندگی بوده است و عملیات تنبیهی به زودی اجرا خواهد شد. لذا به جد به ساکنین سرزمین‌های اشغالی به ویژه تل‌آویو و حیفا هشدار داده می‌شود برای حفظ جان خود این مناطق رو ترک کنند و خودشون رو قربانی امیال حیوانی نتانیاهو نکنند.
Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz said Tuesday that there would be attacks on very significant targets in Tehran and issued a direct warning to Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. According to Associated Press, speaking next to the crater formed by an Iranian rocket in Herzliya, Katz cautioned Khamenei to stop launching strikes on Israel. If you continue to commit acts of war and launch missiles at the civilian population in Israel, your fate will be exactly like that of the dictator in the neighboring country to Iran, he said, in a thinly veiled reference to former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein, who was executed in 2006. Israel's air campaign against Iran's capital appeared to broaden on the fourth day of an intensifying conflict as U.S. President Donald Trump posted an ominous message warning residents of the city to evacuate. Earlier, the Israeli military called for the some 330,000 residents of a neighborhood in Tehran's city center to evacuate. Israel says its sweeping assault on Iran's top military leaders, uranium enrichment sites and nuclear scientists, is necessary to prevent its longtime adversary from getting any closer to building an atomic weapon. The strikes have killed at least 224 people since Friday. Iran has retaliated by launching more than 370 missiles and hundreds of drones at Israel. So far, 24 people have been killed in Israel and more than 500 injured.
באתי לכאן כדי לחזק את תושבי הרצליה ולהעביר מסר ברור לדיקטטור מטהרן, חמינאי. אם תמשיך לבצע פשעי מלחמה ולירות טילים לעבר האוכלוסייה האזרחית בישראל, גורלך יהיה בדיוק כגורלו של הדיקטטור במדינה השכנה לאיראן, שידוע בדיוק איך הוא סיים. אנחנו לא נאפשר לפגוע באזרחי ישראל, וידנו ארוכה משיגה ותשיג את כל מי שאיים על מדינת ישראל.